Hello everybody, Angel Arts here, and by popular demand, I am going to be doing one more very quick bonus episode of Let's Play Dragon Age Inquisition The Descent DLC because people wanted me to find a particular Easter egg that is a bit elusive and hard to find. The first part of this Easter egg I actually had done, because I believe, if you remember, I ended up going on to, I forgot which map it was, but I picked up a cheese wheel somewhere. Do you remember that room? That room that I thought there was something to it. Like there's got to be. I felt like there was something in one of those rooms, and I was like, how do I get into that room? Turns out I didn't have to get into any of those rooms except the one whose door was already open. And the one whose door was already open had a cheese wheel in it. So what I'm gonna do is, now that I've gotten the cheese wheel, that was the first part of the Easter egg. The second part of the Easter egg requires me to go to the Bastion of the Pure. And I am going to make my way, ooh, supply cache, yes, yes. I'm going to make my way up, basically around this loop here. I guess I want to end up over there. Yes. Alright. And then there's supposed to be...
Words are carved into the stone. Only those who believe may cross. Subtle. Words are carved into the stone. Only those who believe may cross. Subtle.
So I believe, and if you look at this map, if you see that there is a cavern over there, there is a cave over there that I don't think that Art and Company have actually gotten to yet. And according to this waystone, you pretty much have to make a leap of faith. Keep in mind that a leap of faith is not really meant literally, because apparently if you jump into it, it doesn't work. Whoops. But if you walk forward, okay. I have to remember that I don't have my special braces that keeps me from dying when I fall from high places. So this is definitely a step of faith, a walk of faith. Oh! Wow. Did you say anything else about
Words are carved into the stone. Only
Yes.
those who believe may cross.
So I'm wondering if this bridge only appears if you have cheese. So I'm wondering how many poor explorers have reached this point but hadn't gotten the cheese, read the stone that says, "Oh yeah, only the faithful can believe." And has a big, see, they fail to mention the cheese part. They didn't say those who believe and have a honkin' big wheel of cheese can pass through, because I'm wondering if the cheese is required for this bridge to materialize, because otherwise there are some pretty gullible but faithful explorers who believe, who will end up getting themselves flat as a pancake, because they didn't find the cheese.
Glad
And
that worked. The alternative would have been messy.
yeah, the alternative would have required a restart, a load from our previous save. So this, okay. Oh, hello. There's some nugs here. There's some, but not the. Whoa! Look, do you see that shadow over there, guys? See that shadow? That is one giant looking. Oh.
Altar. For offerings.
Oh my. Place? Oh. I have a feeling if we hurt any of these nugs, it's not going to be very good for us. Place the cheese. There. Place the cheese onto the throne. Hello. That's a lot of nugs. Smoochums? Oh! It's the Nug King. Hello, Nug King. Hi, you have a cute little crown on your head. Where'd you get the crown? Squeaks judgmentally.
Are you putting me on trial?
Wow, I'm being judged by the king. Squeaks affirmatively. Squeaks regally. I haven't hurt any of your...
judged.
Yeah, now Art's like, so that's how that feels. The Nug King. A hot debate among Nug admirers is whether the king in Paragon Ebrian songs was royalty of some kind or merely an especially magnificent specimen of the breed. Every year, scholars, bards, and rodents enthusiasts bring offerings of cheese to the deep roads, hoping for a glimpse of the Nug King, who remains elusive. Aha. That was cute. That was very cute. So that was the where did all the nuts go? That was the Nug Easter egg, guys. And apparently there's also, before I close, because this is going to be an extremely short game, I think that I am going to do... Where's the codex? Where's my codex? I forgot where my codex. There. Inventory codex. I think there were new codexes. Oh, there's some updates to existing codexes. So I'll read. I might as well spend some time catching up on those codexes, and then I'll do one more thing after that, which is check out the new wardrobe. I was gonna say check out the new DLC, but then people would think, oh, you mean the Trespasser DLC? That's tomorrow. Tomorrow the Trespasser DLC is coming out. Today, over the weekend, they released the most important DLC of all, more important than the Trespasser DLC, which is the DLC that gave us wardrobe changes in Skyhold. Most important one of all. But I'll get to that. Alistair, a hero of the recent Fifth Blight, the Grey Warden Alistair is credited alongside the hero Ferelden. But we already talked about this. Rumor has it. Alongside the hero Ferelden with slaying the Archdemon and sparing Thetis the ravages of the Darkspawn. Rumor has it that he is an heir to the Ferelden throne, but that he turned it down in deference to Queen Enora, daughter to the traitorous Taryn Loghain. After the champion of Kirkwall sacrificed in the Fade, giving him and the Inquisitor a chance to escape, Alistair left to report to the Grey Warden leadership at the fortress of Weishaupt in the Anderfells. Lieutenant Wren. Scribbled notes between Lieutenant Wren and Legionnaire Bernat. Lieutenant Wren, sir, I reviewed our request for supplies. As your second, I am duty-bound to point out the absurd amount of ale listed. Unless we have resorted to drowning the Darkspawn, respectfully, Legionnaire Bernat. Bernat, don't be ridiculous. There's no such thing as an absurd amount of ale. Wren, I miss Wren already. Lieutenant Wren, you have requested more barrels than we have legionnaires. Respectfully, Legionnaire Bernat. Bernat, can't even let a dead man have some fun. Fine, reduce the number of barrels to half. But I expect tapster's quality, not the pea they sent last time. Wren. Lieutenant Wren, I will make sure that the Crown is aware that the ale is for the esteemed Lieutenant Wren, Vanquisher of Darkspawn, Hero of the Fifth Blight, and... what was the other title? I always forget. Respectfully, Legionnaire Bernat. He was a hero of the Fifth Blight? Really? Bernat, owner of the boot in your arse, Salroka. Wren. I miss that guy already. Shaper Volta. Yesterday, I passed by a funeral for a Legionnaire. I looked in as they tattooed her face. The weight of the ink seemed heavy. In moments, she aged 20 years. I know you are not part of the Legion, but sometimes it feels like I have lost my daughter, all the same. I remember when you were a little girl. You dragged me to the Shaperate just to skip down the aisles of... Wait, this isn't even the beginning of it. My daughter. I regretted the way we parted from the moment you left Orzammar. The words I spoke shamed the ancestors and our house. Your mother still won't speak to me. Yesterday I passed by a funeral, blah, blah. I remember when you were a little girl. You dragged me to the Shaper just to skip down the aisles of books and records. You'd hum softly and run your tiny fingers along the spines of tomes you'd one day study. I still expect to find you there. They tell me the Legion commander with you is one of the best, and I shouldn't worry. It may be weak, but I'm not ready to lose you to the stone. Please be careful. Your father. Well, I think you kind of lost Shaper Volta to the stone, but not in the way that you are thinking of. More like a big, giant, mountainous titan stone thing. Scout Harding. Ooh. Nice. Forward camp has been established in the Ferelden hinterlands, and suitable locations for other outposts have been identified. Progress into the area proceeded ahead of projected schedules thanks to a local volunteer. For further details, read on. Slider was ambushed and overwhelmed by bandits and might have died if it not for the timely intervention of Lace Harding. I love Harding's first name, Lace, who rescued Slider with 2 well-aimed stones from her sling. Her family Mabari ran off the remaining 3 bandits. Harding and Contessa, the Mabari, nice, escorted Slider back to the forward camp, followed at a distance by the small herd of ambling sheep that belonged to a neighbor of the Harding family. Once there, she requested a map, which she proceeded to fill out with helpful details, most notably known bandit hideouts and ambush points. Map completed, Lace Harding took her sheep and returned home. We did not expect her to return the next morning, now outfitted with a small bow and leather jerkin, and absent 1 hound and a herd of sheep. Maps are all right, but nothing beats a guide, she said. That was a week ago. She's still here. I took the liberty of offering her a position as a scout. Yours, Charter. That's our Lace. Storvaka. She is the hold beast. I think we already did this one. She is the hold beast of the Stone Bear Hold. All other bears in the area are mere imitations. Storvacker. How do I even begin to explain Storvacker? Storvacker is flawless. She has 2 ancient elven trees for claw sharpening and a silver honey dish. I hear that her claws are valued at Denerim at 10,000 sovereigns. I hear that she sells her shed fur to Orlesian master weavers in Val Royeaux. Her favorite story is Hard in Hightown. One time she met Alistair Therin, fabled warrior of the 5th Blight, and he told her she was pretty. One time she clawed me in the face. It was amazing. From Ruminations upon the Avar and Their Customs by Reginald de Gorge. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Crithal. Long before the first Tigers, legend speaks of the Crithal, horned war beasts with eyes like molten silver. Possessing the might of 3 Brontos, the Crithal charged their prey using a rock-hard frill to smash their targets to a bloody pulp. The Crithal held down their prey with 4 strong legs, quickly stripping their victims' flesh from the bone with powerful jaws. Despite their brutality, some Crithal were domesticated as fierce weapons in battle. What happened to these savage creatures is unknown. Some people claim the Darkspawn wiped them out. Not so. Others say they never existed. Not so. Those with more imagination speculate that these magnificent creatures retreated deep within the earth in search of the deadliest prey. Probably more likely. And I think I already know about those and Genlocks, and yeah, I think we know pretty much about these things. And ogres, these are all Darkspawn. Shrieks, yeah, these are all Darkspawn. Okay. So, is there anything new in here? The Sha-Brytol. A torn page from Shaper Volta's handwritten journal was discovered among trade correspondence delivered to Skyhold this morning. The Inquisition's courier could not recall how or when it came into our possession. Ren's murderers hide in the shadows, watching me from a safe distance. The Sha-Brytol saw the Titan favor me with the gift of shaping stone. I am more powerful than they will ever be. They fear me. They love me. They understand I am a part of the Titan they defend, but they don't realize it doesn't need their protection. It never has. Whoever these dwarves once were, whatever motives drove them to remain here, now they are only lost. I don't sleep anymore, but sometimes I stop to listen. Yesterday? Or was it an hour ago? I became aware of Sha-Brytol, who had crept close enough to leave an offering, an empty suit of their armor. Did they think I would wear it? Lead them? All their gift did was summon the image of my dead friend as I returned him to the stone. I left the armor where it lay. Tomorrow? No. It was just a moment ago. I enter one of their towers. I sense how rapidly they flee my approach. They think I come to destroy them, but I don't have to get close to do that. I'm just curious to see how they live. Do they live? The tower offers no answers. It is quiet and spare, reminding me of descriptions of the topsiders' temples to their gods. Are the towers temples? Fortresses? Both, perhaps? Only one chamber provided anything of interest to me. A domed circular courtyard held a pool of the Titan's blood at its center. Empty suits of armor sat neatly in a circle around the pool. Is this where Sha-Brytol come to be entombed in their metal skins? What smith makes this armor, and where does it come from? My lost kin are hiding somewhere. They have a tide somewhere. I have no interest in finding that citadel of a Sha-Brytol, but another night. Okay. Going through these. History. The Titans. Harriet made an odd discovery in Skyhold's Undercroft, a page of handwritten text torn from Sha-Brytol's personal journal. The Titans are real. I knew it the moment I unearthed that ancient text. Ren scoffed at the words I read. I couldn't blame him, even as I felt the truth settle on me like a warm cloak. Much of our history has been lost, and the wall of memories goes back only so far. There had to be more to the story of our people, and I finally found one of those lost chapters. It is impossible to describe in words how truly vast a Titan is. The one I met is so large you can only glimpse parts of it. I had wandered inside its body for who knows how long without even realizing it. I've heard tales of dragons and giants on the surface, but descriptions of their size do not compare to the Titans. Its blood now flows through me, and its song fills the gaps in our history. I close my eyes and see glimpses of a world that was, before everything changed and the dwarven race broke in two. Oh, the dwarven race broke in two with the dwarves as we know now, and the Sha-Brytol. Something caused the Titans to fall, and the fate of my people fell with them. The Titan wants me to know. No, more than that. It wants me to understand. There is a loneliness to its song. This starts to make me wonder. Again, I start to begin to wonder about Dragon Age universe religions, because we're talking about these titans, and she was talking the moment that Shaper Volta mentioned something made the titans fall, and they basically, ended up retreating. If you can, maybe retreating question mark. We don't know if it was necessarily a retreat, but they ended up supposedly retreating underground. That sort of reminds me of the elven gods. If you remember how the wolf, the dread wolf, supposedly the dread wolf tricked the elven gods and trapped them. I don't know if they necessarily said that they trapped the gods under the earth, but trapped them somewhere. And I'm wondering if the Titans and who the elves perceive to be their gods could be one and the same. Maybe. I don't know. It might sound like a stretch, but that's just one of the things that just popped into my head when I was reading about the Titans. Because even in our mythology, in real life mythology, when we talk about the Titans, you know, Titans being the gods, like the Greek, I think Greek or Roman gods, I believe. I don't remember mythology, but at least they were godlike, and they ended up getting trapped, I think, or at least that's what I think was the whole plot behind the movie, or whatever. But I don't know. There might be absolutely no connection whatsoever. It just got me thinking. That excerpt. Doom upon all the world. And so is the golden city blackened with each step you take in my hall. Marvel at perfection, for it is fleeting. You have brought sin to heaven and doom upon all the world. Canticle of Threnodies 8:13. There is very little of the infamous 13th verse that we can take literally. It speaks in the voice of the Maker himself, since he has never deigned to speak to his children directly. We can rest assured it is a work of fiction. There are facts, however, which support it, at least in part. Records remain for the time prior to the first blight, saying that yes, 7 magisters did open a portal to enter the Fade physically. These 7, whose true names we have lost either to legend or deliberate obscurement, did so at the behest of the old gods, who whispered from their ancient prisons. We also know that the Golden City, visible from every part of the Fade by any mage at the time, turned black as night the moment these 7 breached its gates. Everything else, the accusations of sin, the suggestion that these 7 became the first Darkspawn, that they were directly responsible for the blights to come, all of that is conjecture. From questioning the chant by Magister Vibius Agorian. Interesting read here. I think there's still another history thing. Yes. The Guardian. Josephine found a torn handwritten journal page tucked into papers on her desk and immediately delivered it to the Inquisitor. The page was obviously written by Shaper Volta, but the Inquisition's ambassador cannot explain its appearance in Skyhold. I was going to say, why are all of these pages from Shaper Volta suddenly appearing in Skyhold when she supposedly parted ways with us deep down with the Titan? I don't know. I don't remember most of what happened at the end. Inquisitor Adar fought to stop the earthquakes, and we raced together through a place more beautiful than anything I had ever seen. How it could be the source of all that devastation confused me. It still does. I felt Ren's absence with every step as we ran to the great circle. Immense lyrium veins pulsed with life, and their power flowed into the circle. Something grew from it. A towering being born from the stone rose to stop us, the Guardian. It lashed out, and I fell into a warm light's embrace. I thought I was returning to the stone. Perhaps I did. The light receded as I awoke in paradise. The Guardian lay shattered. The Inquisitor stood triumphant. A victory, but I could not take any joy in it. The Guardian had come to defend the Titan, protect the stone from being weakened. It tried to kill the Inquisitor, but to me, it offered only gifts. Somebody's playing favorites. I hope to use them well, and someday understand why I was chosen to receive them. I feel like we're going to find more about that in the next Dragon Age. A note on Orzammar. Inquisitor, as you have already heard, Orzammar has urgent need of our services. The underground earthquakes in the deep roads threatened to cave in countless lyrium mines. If this happens, it would all but cut off the supply of lyrium to the surface. I don't need to tell you how many former Templars in the Inquisition rely on that lyrium. It is imperative that we remain in Orzammar's good graces. Their politics may not require as much finesse as the grand game of Orlais, but dwarven society can be just as perilous. Orzammar is one of the 2 remaining things that once made up their empire, and its citizens are a proud people who are accustomed to hardship and lean heavily on tradition. A dwarven's caste means everything. While you are not traveling to the capital itself, you shall be dealing with a representative from its shaperate. I am told her name is Volta, and her father is a highly respected member of the Smith caste. Liliana had discovered little else about her, which isn't surprising considering how tightly Orzammar holds its secrets. I caution you to treat this representative with utmost respect. We are dealing with a proud people with long memories. Once a grudge is held, well, I'm sure you've heard about that they say about rocks and dwarven stubbornness. Josephine. A journal of Professor Arberg. I came expecting books worn from history's touch, their covers frayed with their spines exposed, but the memories are not written on fragile pages. They are runes crafted from lyrium. The never-fading symbols glow as if alive and capable of speech. The shapers tended them with the deference of a grand cleric, a civilization's entire history catalogued and recorded for future generations. Well, almost their entire history. My shaper guide explained that I wouldn't find the names of surface houses, even prominent ones. The casteless are struck from the memories because they have no position in Orzammar society and have turned their backs on the stone. Bit much, if you ask me. The dwarves seem to be a people of extremes. They certainly are. I was not permitted to access to all of the Shaper's records, but only a select few. but I think I impressed them with my extensive knowledge of dwarven family trees. The Journal of Tog. I should have listened to Daria, kept my head down, focused on the drop. She warned me that Karshal doesn't like questions, but I'd heard stories of Orzammar my whole life, and if not for Mother's gambling, I'd have been raised there. The rift between our people is thicker than the ground that divides Orzammar from the surface. Our kin below think they're better than us because they've still got their stone sense. Daria said that they'd treat me different. Even the dusters look down on a cloud gazer like me. I didn't choose to be born on the surface. I never had stone sense to lose. I just wanted to know what it felt like. Topside, people talk like it's magic. You hear rumors of the stone guiding our children to lyrium veins, protecting them from cave-ins, or whispering to expecting mothers about their unborn infants' futures. According to Karshal, the reality of stone sense is much more mundane. While miners can hear this distant song of lyrium, no one has conversations with the stone. It's more of a connection. They can sense a passageway before reaching it, and can navigate the deep roads without getting hopelessly lost. That's very interesting. It's a very interesting way to describe the stone sense. My disappointment must have shown. Karshal asked if I had any other questions, then broke my nose for prying. It's been a bad trip. Lyrium blast chargers. Mining lyrium is not work for the faint-hearted. The stuff is dangerous to handle safely and difficult to find, and its veins only ever seem to run through the hardest rock. Lyrium is nothing but trouble, but luckily it offers a solution to its own problem. Pack the right amount into a small drum, prime it with a short fuse, light the thing, and run as fast as you can. The blast will leave your ears ringing for days after, but it will also explode any number of obstacles. There is a saying among long-time lyrium miners: when the going gets tough, the tough get out blast charge and blow a great sodding hole in the stone. Okay. Places. Frostback Basin. Halvor often arrives around Wintersend, but given the recent weather, I hadn't looked for him, which is why his voice across the market took me by surprise. Lowlander, I was owed a drink on my next visit, and supper, unless you were getting out of your wager. Maybe I was trying to get out of the bet, but I happily paid the bill at the inn that night. I asked Halvor where he'd last traveled, and he said he'd been trading with an Avar hold in Frostback Basin. Then he raised an eyebrow at the look on my face, so I described the stories Uncle told us as children, where brave expeditions get lost in places like the Western Approach, Nahashin Marshes, Frostback Basin. He laughed and admitted it could be a cruel place. He described thick forests, greater than any I've seen, I'm certain, and darkened swamps. His rule for traveling there seemed to boil down to be wary and alert, because everything can kill you. The wildlife is violent, the cliffs are steep, and you must be mindful of the gods' wishes, here meaning his Avar gods. Of course, the hunting's good, the trade fair, and the Avar hold impressive. But do people really disappear in the forest? I asked. Few lowlanders come through, not sure how many leave after. The last was a joke, but I won't be visiting that hold anytime soon. A letter from a Ferelden merchant to his cousin in Highever. Resources found here: elfroot, embryum, deep mushroom, philandris, arbor blessing, everite, and silverite. The Black Emporium. It is a myth, of course, nothing more. Tales of a mysterious underground shop run by an immortal, perhaps undead, proprietor who peddles impossible and implausible goods have circulated for decades among the Templars. Now and then, a zealous or curious knight will be looking for the place to no avail. Stories place the Black Emporium in Kirkwall's Darktown, the sewers of Valroyo, in the back of an empty boathouse in Lumerin, at the top of a tower in Marnes Pell, and hidden beneath the skirts of the giant statue of Andraste at Merdane. Beneath the skirts of the giant statue of Andraste at the Merdane. No reputable source has ever found it, and none ever will, because it does not exist. You will, of course, hear the standard justifications. It appears only to the worthy. It appears only to the invited. It is hidden by magic blood. Magic blood. It's hidden by magic blood. By blood magic. It exists only in the Fade. Rubbish. There is no magic that can hide an entire shop full of trinkets from the eyes of a seeker of truth. And I am not saying that because I searched for 6 months and didn't find it. Shut up, Tristan. From a letter by Seeker Benedict to Divine Justinia V. I mean, so far, 2 people at minimum have found it. Hawk and Art. And whoever accompanied Hawk and Art. They must not get very much business. I'm wondering how in the world it was able to hold up all this time. Because that's not a lot of clientele, like let me tell you. And I don't see anything. Oh wait, there's a couple. The Wellspring. In a time that only the stone remembers, there was a thaig in the deepest caverns ruled by a wise old king. The riches in the stone had provided well for the thaig. Lyrium flowed like water from the ground, gold and jewels sprouted from the walls like mushrooms, and the people wanted for nothing. One day, the king returned to the stone and left behind two sons to vie for his throne. Neither had been named heir, and so each sought to prove to their father's assembly that he was best suited to be king. The first son journeyed far and wide across the deep roads, forging alliances with the other Thaigs, and returned home bearing word of the goodwill of distant kingdoms and their promises of future friendship. But the assembly was not impressed with words, and promises would not name him heir. So the second son mined the ground for wealth. Every last scrap of lyrium, every nugget of gold he dug up and gifted to the thaig, but the assembly, accustomed to abundance, was not impressed. So the second son dug farther and farther into the stone, so far that he broke through to the other side and found the sky. And this he claimed for his thaig, and the assembly named him king. But the assembly wanted him to bring back his treasure for the thaig. The new king climbed down and down the endless mine until he reached the sky, but try as he might, he could not pull the sky up, nor strike it to pieces with his pickaxe. The new king mined out more and more earth, trying to carve a path to the sky, and finally he undermined his thaig so much that the whole kingdom broke loose and fell far, far into the ground and up into the sky. King, assembly, and thaig were never seen again. Wow. The king who claimed the sky, from songs that only Nugs can hear, by Paragon Ebrihan. Cute. Two marked in battle. In a hold past our own, there were two men. One was born Ivat Jovson, the other Rekis Hildson. When word came Lowlanders marched to Ivat on Ivat's hold, he searched for them. He found the Lowlanders in a valley, and his heart was grieved, for they wore mail and spoke eagerly of battling Avar, and came in great numbers. But clever Ivat studied the rock above the Lowlanders. When they camped for the night, he climbed up to the tallest peak and rolled a great boulder to the edge, aiming for the light of their fires. The boulder slid with other rocks into a mighty wave of dirt and stone. More than half their number were crushed, and the others fled in terror back to the lowlands. Ivat's hold held a great feast to celebrate this, and said the songs would now call him Ivat Stone Thunder. Rekis Hildson grew jealous. Did he not shoot better than Ivat? Did he not run faster than Ivat? A great monster lived at the top of the mountain by the hold. It had feathers of gold and taloned claws, and stole their game from the valley. Rekis swore he would kill the beast to make his own legend mark, and went hunting on the mountain. I'm guessing that beast was a dragon. Just a guess. The first night, Rekis found and killed a ram. The second night, Rekis found and killed a hart. The third night, Rekis found the nest of the feathered monster, and it was empty. Feathered monster? The hunter laid the hart and the ram on the nest, then climbed above it. When dawn broke, the monster returned. It greedily tore open the meat. While it was distracted, Rekis leapt down and plunged his sword into its back. The monster screamed, but its hide was thick and the sword stuck. The beast took off into the sky with the terrified Rekis still on his back. The monster twisted and looped to shake him off, and the sword dropped into the deep valley. Desperate, Rekis held on to the feathers of the monster's neck. He saw the beast would soon fly over his home, where all his friends and kin were gathered in astonishment at the sight above them. Rekis threw his weight, trying to force the monster closer to the ground. It worked, and when the beast soared over the hold, Rekis twisted and threw himself off. The gods were kind, and as the beast flew off, Rekis landed on a midden heap, torn feathers floating above him. Rekis was humble the rest of his days, never again letting jealousy take his head. The hunter knew, in the end, his legend mark could have been far worse than Rekis's feather fall. From Stories of the Wild South, a collection of tales of the barbarian nations of Ferelden by Lady Susanna Ashwall of Ansburg. And that clears out the codexes, ladies and gentlemen. All right. No, no, no. We don't want to go back yet. What I want to do is go to Skyhold. Go back home to Skyhold. Because Art has to do one more thing. He needs a serious change of wardrobe. Wardrobe. Oh, thank goodness. Casual, formal wear, outerwear, armor, casual wear. Austerity, purity, be above reproach in both manner and dress, with his classic style and patterned white. Vivacity, garb yourself in the rich blues of the massed empire, while keeping your ensemble simple and sleek. Oh, that's not bad. It's a little, not interesting enough, though. Vivacity might be... Oh, that actually looks really good on Art. I like that blue on him. Oh, let's take a look at more. Formal wear, the Winter Palace. Well, we already know what that one looks like. Classic formal cut, crimson accented with royal blue, fit to meet royally. A formal azure sensation determined to declare war upon and victory over presumptions. Yes, that's a really nice looking one. The Callahan sunset, like a brilliant sunset descending into a cerulean lake, the never-ending dance of fire and water is elegantly captured. Ooh. That's actually kind of nice. Although I keep thinking, whenever he wears these wardrobes, this particular type of clothing, he keeps reminding me of Beast from Beauty and the Beast. The Midnight Tower, for discerning tastes and formal accoutrements, dark tones and silvery accents evoke the wonder and gravity of night skies. Yes, dark. The dark one's fine too. Outerwear. Venture forth, for the Inquisitor who wishes to project a can-do, hands-on image, a simple rugged number in rich browns. Not bad. Doesn't really scream Inquisitor to me, though. Venture capital. White accents and a startling red undershirt defy expectations while maintaining a ready, durable style. Oh. Huh. I like that one, actually. Night's Watch. Somber tones and a heavier coat. Perfect for cold Skyhold nights and weighty discussions. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Day's Vigil. Heavy leathers and lighter tones project a quiet confidence as they enthrall the eye. Oh, wow. I like it because of the scarf. That scarf pops. And then armor. Immortal. Be observed, standing at the portals to the Fade, glittering and silver. Huh. Not very mage-like, though. Eternal. Golden scale, accented with green. Protected, secured, but never discreet. Wow. So I think for Art, he's probably going to go... I think I really like Vivacity the best on him. Yeah, I kind of like that on Art, to be quite honest. That's probably my favorite for him. And what's going to be cool is I'm going to be able to let Andy pick out something as well that I think fits his personality. So that's going to be exciting. But anyway, guys, I think I'm way over. But and this was supposed to be a super quick, but with codexes and all, and wardrobe. Gotta have the wardrobes. But guys, tomorrow, as of this recording, the Trespasser DLC is going to come, and it is the final, allegedly the final DLC of the game, before we move on to the next Dragon Age game, with, of course, Mass Effect Andromeda in between. So, thank you guys for watching, and until next time, love yourselves, and love each other.